Most people die without ever having been born. We come into the world with the project of being born to the mystery of our identity inscribed in our depths, but very few realize it. The animal plane is enough for us, or the world of the wishful. Human life, however, is unique and never returns. The current average is 75 years, and often these years are generously offered to what is not real life. Everyone can make their own personal assessment, but no exercise is more important than this one. The 24-hour day is the model for our entire life. And yet, at the end of the day, how many minutes were we really conscious? Because to live is to be fully here and now. Life is the present moment. To be before or after, in the past or the future, is not to be at all. Only being totally present in the present opens life up to life and takes us out of the realm of the dead. Understanding this is decisive for everyone and can give us access to an unknown stage of our existence. Being totally attentive to the present moment, in other words, vigilant, cuts deep into the workings of the mind. Being truly present in the moment, here and now, frees us from the mind and gradually makes us awakened ones. We then discover a whole new dimension of life, life itself, for it is nowhere else but here, in this very moment, in this place where I am now, and in this very thing I am doing. The key is to be fully, totally committed to it, body, soul, spirit, without any inner division. Only it turns out that this is extremely difficult. Living in the present moment is a conquest, the battle of a lifetime, a crucifixion, because it is the death of the ego, of the little self. The present moment is the crossroads of time and eternity, and it is on this cross that we are stretched out. If this is true, then we can say that this point of intersection is Christ Himself. Is He not eternity entered into time, God made man? Every moment with its content, whatever it may be, is the temple of His presence. Every moment, then, the fullness of His love manifests itself to us through everything that happens to us. Christ is suspended with us on this very cross to save us from a present that without Him would be a veritable hell. Simone Weil, the great philosopher of our time, who died in 1943, was not wrong when she identified attention with holiness. And Christian Bobin, that remarkable contemporary poet, has no hesitation in saying that holiness is the powerful taste of this life, a childlike capacity to rejoice in what is, without asking for anything else. Holiness is the powerful taste of this life, a childlike capacity to rejoice in what is, without asking for anything else. Enjoying the eternal while taking care of the ephemeral. This enjoying of the eternal while taking care of the ephemeral is the essential attitude of vigilance. Jesus says, "Become like little children again. Rediscovering the childlike capacity that Christian Bobin speaks of means first and foremost breaking free from inner disassociation, doing one thing and thinking of another. The child, on the other hand, is one. When he cries, he is all crying. When he laughs, he is laughter. When he plays, he is play. He is entirely in what he is, in what he does here and now, without distance from his first consciousness. He marries his deepest being and the act he commits inseparably. Christ speaks, of course, of the little child before he begins to say I or me, with the ever-increasing awareness that there is a me and the others, and therefore a separation. The toddler is not yet separated, either within himself or from all that lies outside of him. His whole being is yes, even when he cries. There is no tension or retention within him. He is total abandonment, delivered to the good will of his mother's or anyone else's arms, and no less to external circumstances as they present themselves. A bee can walk over his body just as easily as a viper, and he won't even recoil, because fear or the mind have not yet dissociated him. This is how Lao Tzu, 6th century BC, one of the greatest Taoist masters, describes the summits of wisdom that all mysticism aims for. Supreme docility to being the plaything of fortuitous circumstances. This is for the simple reason that fortuitous circumstances conceal the very will of God behind the veil of appearances, which is why only those who rediscover the attitude of the little child will enter the kingdom of heaven. Everything is there, and there is no true happiness outside of that. Vigilance points its finger at that from moment to moment. It is complete adherence, a yes without fail to what is, without the I intervening to interpret, judge, criticize, reject. The kingdom of heaven belongs to it, that is to say, the spirit, because by this right attitude which defines it, it operates a guidance of the dualistic soul, the psyche, lost in the opposites, always in attraction or rejection, toward the spirit, which itself is beyond opposites, in peace and joy, one and simple. It is this breakthrough towards the beyond, deep within ourselves, which matters above all things, because life is nowhere else. But this can only be done by taking the means that are of the same nature as our spirit, to get out of duality or the multiple, to become one and simple. For this, we can consider that life is a line. Now, a line, as we learned in geometry, is a succession of points. We therefore have only one thing to do. Living is really nothing other than being totally one with a single point, then the next one. However, many points, even if it is one after the other, still keep us in the multiple and mortal exteriority. There must be a common framework for all these points, a single direction that crosses them all, a life that lives within the life of each moment. Now, this life is that of God, because each moment is the place of His manifestation. It is therefore in the union with the present moment that everything is played out. This union is an alliance between God and human beings, the place where we are once again attuned to God in the etymological sense of the word, to accord, ad cor, the union of hearts, and in the very strong sense of being attuned, being in the same resonance, the same creative vibration. The vigilant person embraces the creative movement. He or she is in perfect agreement with the will of God, which is expressed in the moment when he thus rediscovers the meaning of time as God created it in its origin. Time was a splendor, that of the perpetual celebration where God was present to human beings and reciprocally amazed by each other. It was the time of the permanent miracle of the wedding and of the friendship between a human being and God. This is the true tone of the moment, its profound resonance. He or she who enters into this agreement finds the true vibration of life, which transforms our existence into celebration, music, and dance.